The title of this webinar is The Perfect Investment. My name is Paul Hansen, and I doubt if you know me. So by way of a short introduction, I've got a reasonably good academic background, having received an MBA from the University of Chicago and done graduate work in economics at the Wharton School of Finance. Most of my working life I've spent as an entrepreneur, and along the way even tried writing a couple of books. As an entrepreneur, I started a company that was publicly held, and eventually it was acquired by a major bank holding company. The company I started turned out to be immensely successful for every investor involved. And I must admit we were lucky, because it always doesn't turn out so well. The reason? There are so many pitfalls on Wall Street. But let's forget about Wall Street right now and go to the perfect investment. You're probably skeptical, thinking there's no such thing as the perfect investment. And you may very well be right. At least what I'll be describing, if not perfect, is extremely close to being perfect. And by the way, you've got every right to be skeptical. You should be, particularly when I explain exactly what this investment is. I know I was skeptical when I first heard about it, but stay with me. During this webinar, I may make some statements that are counter to your personal experience. And even though I can prove them to you, you might say, I don't believe it. It's sort of like listening to someone describe the Wright brothers' first airplane flight, where the person describing it to you says, I saw the flight, but you didn't. And your logical reaction is, I don't believe it. That is until you see it and you can actually prove it to yourself. But first, I'd like to ask a question. Do you know where you can invest with virtually zero risk by placing your money with a company that can generate for you a weekly return on your investment that averages between 3% and 15%? Your first reaction probably is, I don't believe it. To date, no investor with this company has ever lost a penny. However, that doesn't mean that someone could never lose money, because of course, anything is possible. However, the chances of that happening in this particular investment are almost zero. If your answer to the question I just posed is you don't know where to find an investment like I described, then hang around because I'm going to explain it to you. And believe me, you'll not find this one on Wall Street. This investment has been around since before Roman times, but has not really been thought of as a true investment until recently. Now, there is sophisticated technology that provides historical research along with timely and reliable data so that intelligent financial decisions can be easily made. In fact, there are a lot of investors, including some billionaires, who like this type of investing rather than the traditional investing they do on Wall Street. Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks basketball team and a regular on the CBS TV show Shark Tank, wrote a blog describing this investment way back in 2005. His writing will give you a hint of what this perfect investment is. Here's what Mr. Cuban said. I've decided to start a new hedge fund. However, this hedge fund won't invest in stocks or bonds or any type of business. It's going to be a fund that only places bets. He goes on to say, it won't be me figuring out what bets to place or what games to play. I will simply find the best and the brightest with a confirmable track record and hire them. It's an idea whose time has come. Now here is exactly what Mark Cuban was talking about. There is a company, and it's the only company I am aware of, with a track record that shows that it consistently wins at sports betting. The reason this company is unique is because it treats sports betting as a serious business, not as a form of entertainment. They have invested lots of time and money to develop an entirely new sports betting strategy that's based on an extensively tested algorithm which has been proven to work consistently over time. This is investing real money with a company that has a proven track record of success, and then letting that company bet for you. This company uses the latest technology and information to make winning picks, and they only bet on 3 sports: football, basketball, and baseball. Focusing only on these sports enables this company to become more knowledgeable than almost anyone else in the world about the most important data to consider when placing bets. In addition, this company's objectives are identical with those of the investor, because the company can't make money unless the investor makes money. The company actually splits all of the winnings with the investor 50-50. This is much different than Wall Street, where the broker always makes money from fees or commissions, whether or not the investor makes any money at all. The name of the company I'm referring to is Quantum Sports Advisory. They are professional sports handicappers with headquarters in Las Vegas. Now, just like any other industry, there is a significant difference in handicappers. Let's look at the industry win rate, or their track record. VegasInsider.com, a publication that shows the results of professionals in the sports betting world, provides the following information. The very top of the professional handicappers have an average win rate of 58%. This means that for every $100 they bet, they win between $10 and $11. At least they make a pretty good living. But when you combine all the professional handicappers together as a group, they only have a win rate of 51%. This means that for every $100 they bet, they lose $1. That's not very good when you compare it to the top tier of that group. Amateurs, on the other hand, as a group, have a win rate of 40%, which means that for every $100 they bet, they lose $24. I'd call that miserable. On the other hand, Quantum has an average win rate of over 90%. No other company even comes close to that. So how do they do that? I'll show you how when this webinar is over, because you can then click a link that will take you to a video that describes the secrets of winning big in sports betting. Quantum Sports Advisory has 2 investment programs. These are called the Multifold program and the Secured program. In both programs, Quantum does everything for the investor. This includes picking the teams as well as placing the bets at the appropriate casino sportsbook. All sportsbooks in Nevada are tightly regulated by the Nevada Gaming Control Board. The only way a person can bet online on any sport in Nevada is through an approved casino sportsbook. Quantum does all the betting for each investor at approved sportsbooks. Let's take a quick review of the Multifold program. In the Multifold program, the investor has a choice of 4 different investment amounts: $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, and $100,000. Each amount invested receives a different winning yield by contract. This yield ranges from 2.5 times to 4 times on your invested amount. Let's take a look at what this means. $10,000 invested yields $25,000. That's a 2.5-fold contract. $25,000 invested yields $75,000, a 3-fold contract. $50,000 invested yields $175,000. That's a 3.5-fold contract. And $100,000 invested yields $400,000, or a 4-fold contract. Each investor completes an easy-to-understand contract and then sends money directly to Quantum for the Multifold program. Investors can do this from any place in the world, and there's no need for that investor to make an in-person visit to Las Vegas. In the Multifold program, the original investment and the winnings are not liquid until the monetary objectives of the contract are reached. For example, when you invest $10,000, you must wait until you have reached the 2.5-fold or the $25,000 mark before you can access your money. The time to reach those contract objectives will vary, but it averages between 3 and 6 months. Now let's take a look at the secured program. The minimum investment amount in the secured program is $100,000 and the maximum is $5 million. That's a significant difference between the multifold and the secured program. The other significant difference between the two programs is liquidity. That's the access to your money. In the secured program, the investor can quit the program at any time and collect all of the winnings. 100% of the winnings are available to the investor at any time, 24/7. If they want to, investors can collect their winnings every week. However, most investors usually reinvest their winnings so they can compound. This is much different than the multifold program, where you have to wait until the program reaches the specified contractual amount before you can remove any funds. The question always arises, how do these two programs compare with each other? There are obvious differences in liquidity and investment amounts between them, but comparing the results, we find that the return on investment, or the ROI, in the secured program is normally higher than the ROI for the multifold program. How much higher is very difficult to quantify. Well, thank you for hanging in there with me this long. I'd like you to stay with me just a little longer because we're nearing the end of the webinar, and I want to give you my password to Quantum's protected website and also help you open a free, no-obligation trial account for either $10,000 or $100,000 that will be funded, of course, with play money. Whichever amount you choose for the multifold or the secured program, Quantum will fund that an account with an imaginary $10,000 or $100,000 and give you your own personal password so you can easily access and follow your account. This free account will perform exactly the same as a real account, except that it'll be funded with imaginary money. During this free trial, you can see exactly how the quantum system works and how much money you can make. Quantum encourages everyone to make certain that they understand Quantum's policies and conservative approach to sports betting before moving forward. To get your free password for the Quantum website and open your free trial account, click below when the video is finished. That'll be in about 30 seconds. In addition, you can also view a short video that explains the secret to Quantum's extraordinarily high win rate. Be prepared to be surprised. This is truly the perfect investment. If you have questions, send me an email, Hansen@quantumsports.net. And remember, to get the information you want, be sure to click below. Thank you for watching.